Happy New Year, everybody. I'll be right with you. Sorry for the misfires. We had the technical difficulties, but we're back and rolling. I think we're good to go. If somebody's trying to get on one of the David Snedekers, it doesn't seem to be working properly, so have them come over to the IndoctriNATION or main David Snedeker or YouTube, please. Thank you, guys. I'll see you shortly. Happy New Year. Hello, everybody. Happy New Year. New Year's Eve. It is December 31st, 2020. Did you ever think we'd make it here? With everything we've had over this past year, what a time to be alive. What a time to be with you all. Good to see you, everybody. Who let the dogs out? Happy New Year's Eve, everybody. Fantastic. Cheers. I got a little drink here with me, a little drink to toast you all. Cheers to 2020, putting 2020 behind us and looking forward to 2021. Happy to be here with you all. Cheers. Alrighty then. Happy evening from Scotland. Hey, David. Good to see you all. Love the crown. Hey, Rebecca. Father Schwab, awesome. The guy sang the news. Your other news site, is that right? You want me to sing the news? That would be hilarious. Yeah, Ann, haven't seen you since last year. So, oh my gosh, so where else, where is it New Year's already? Obviously already in Europe and Australia. It's already 2021 in New Zealand and all around the world. We're kind of the last to go, aren't we? We're kind of the last to go here, here on the West Coast. Cheers, everybody. Happy New Year from Guam, Prescott. Jessica, good to see you from New Zealand. Barbara from Pittsburgh. Marie, Happy New Year's. Mike, Oklahoma City. Milton, good to see you. Hi, Sandy. Love this show. Awesome. Love you. Ron, Atlantic City here. Fantastic. Happy New Year's to all from Lisa Palacio in Facebook jail. Lisa, our prayers are with you. We send love and joy and hope for your swift return to us. I hope you're watching us on YouTube or Twitch or D Live. I'll show you those. Let me see here. Let me take you to that here real quick, and I'll show you where we're at. Let's see. I want to go. There we go, and transition you over here. So this is what we're looking at. D Live, that's a gaming website that we got a handful of people there. Twitch, we've got 41 there in the VIP room. Facebook, the Indoctrination 443. YouTube 160. Facebook 330. David Snedeker. And again, for those who are in the other David Snedeker Facebook, I couldn't get that up and running, but hopefully will for next time, for tomorrow. So, how's everybody doing? Good to see you all, and great to hear everybody where you're chiming in from. That's also awesome to see. So please let me know that. Lisa, Ontario, fantastic. Hey, Fuzzy Bear, thank you. Thanks for that. That was an epic intro. Thank you. Lisa, Ontario. Yeah, Kimberly, happy to be celebrating tonight with our Sneds family. Yes, folks, we have found a family in 2020, have we not? And I'm very happy for that, very honored to be a part of your family and come to you here, nightly. Happy New Year from the UK, released from Facebook jail just in time, Becky. We are living in a communist world if we are being censored for our verbiage, and that is happening more often than not. Deborah from communist New York City. We are holding down each side of the continent, Deborah, here in California and California. Susan, Happy New Year from Vancouver. Amanda, Happy New Year, everyone. The best is yet to come. Keep shining your beautiful light. I agree. Thank you. Dan, Happy New Year. Gail from Idaho. Susan, sound not working on YouTube. Please check your settings, Susan, because you're the only one, and I think it's working over there, but please let me know if that's not true. Beth, New Year's wishes from Minnesota. Good to see you, Beth. Fine, thanks. Leslie, Jean, Menkins, feeling great. Awesome, Jean. Good to have you here. Lucinda, Biden will never be my president. He'll never be anybody's president, Lucinda, unless Gitmo has a kind of a homeroom election where they choose the head of the class, if you will. Kathy, Happy New Year from Central PA. Jackie from the Netherlands. Jackie, good to see you. Louis, Kentucky. Or Lois, I'm sorry. Lois and Louis, very, very different people. Maggie, Happy New Year's from Alberta, Canada. Love my Snedhead family. Love you, Maggie. Awesome. Julie, Happy New Year, everyone. And Dave, good to see you. Okay, Nellie just said, I just spoke with my family from Bosnia. They're doing okay. I'm glad to hear that. Is something going on that I'm not aware of yet. Canapolis, welcome, Australia. You're flying in now. Texas, Ching from Texas. Sugar Grove, Illinois. Vermont, Louisiana, Oregon. Fantastic. Missouri, Montana, New Mexico, Italy, Pennsylvania. Lisa, Elise, you won't be able to top that entrance again. Awesome. Thank you. Happy New Year. Love to have you all here, folks. This is awesome. Yeah, Dave, 2020 needs to go now. Lisa, yes. So I want to chat with you here a little bit, and then I'm looking forward to getting Todd and Cindy on here in a minute. Let's see, Happy New Year from Brisbane, Australia. The firefight and the police in France tonight. Texas, Patricia. Michigan, East Texas, California, Central California. So sad. Times Square in New York is empty. The people are locked out. Wow. Yeah. Wow. Tammy says, I am a psychic medium from Dover, Pennsylvania. Trump will be in office another 4 years with much chaos coming. Tammy, thank you for that. I am not a psychic, and I can tell you that's absolutely true. It's, yeah. So, Michelle, so happy to have found your broadcast in 2020. Hello from the state of Maryland. Michelle, good to have you here. You're getting dizzy, getting a weird vibration from Trump. Is he okay? I think he's fabulous, actually, guys. I think he's never been better. Happy New Year from Sunshine Coast, Australia. Kelly, it's already 2021 over there. How's it feel? Yes, Jennifer, absolutely. We'll do. We'll talk. Happy New Year from Michigan. Jacqueline, Uruguay. Iris, Bloomington, lockdown, Illinois. Jeff, good to see you, my friend. Yeah, lockdown everywhere. This is leaving us. Love and light from Plainfield, Illinois. Amanda, good to see you. Happy New Year from Oz. Ann, thank you. Roll Tide, Debbie. Happy New Year all. Happy New Year from Rhode Island, Marcia, my old stomping ground. All right. Utah, Tony. Kansas Cornfields, Jenny. Daniel, California. Good to see you all. This is so awesome. Yeah, the Aussies. Where are all the Aussies, man? Is it too early for them? I think maybe they're not used to. They're not ready for me, folks. We're up over 1,100 right now. So fabulous. And let me just chat with you here for a little bit. 420 Wild Dragon from Cannabis Land. Cannabis Land is becoming more and more broad a place, isn't it, these days? Good to see you. Okay. Nellie says Bosnia is okay besides their curfew in place. They can't go anywhere from Croatia, but Croatia got hit with a 6.3 earthquake. Town Petrinje. Prayers for them. Lots of damage. Nellie, I'm sorry about that. Yes, prayers for Bosnia and that people are well and healing. Not a great way to start the new year, folks. So if you're not dealing with a 6.3 earthquake with lots of damage, maybe we should count ourselves lucky or blessed. Yeah. Hey, Lynn, you're driving. Be careful. Lynn, watch out for the car. And I'm so glad you're listening and while you're driving, but be safe. So glad you're here with us. Indiana in the house. Australia, Northwest Australia, Sally. Awesome, folks. Hey, folks, I didn't figure out the donation thing yet, so please excuse the frequency with which that pops up. Eric's out of commission right now. Please pray for Eric and his father. We know Eric is such a strong supporter of this broadcast and does so much and gives so much of his time. And so I just want to make sure that we're getting prayers out to he and his father, who's been having some difficulties. So please keep them in your prayers as we start this new year. It's going to be a really, really good year. How many of you... so I'm going to take my attention away from the board here for a moment and ask just if we could slow the roll here just a bit, just to kind of hunker in here and have a little chat. Let's start off with a toast. A toast to finding truth about the world in which we live. A toast to an age of accountability that we're about to step into. A toast to a justice being carried out on people that need it, that deserve it, and for all those victims that have been fallen victimhood to the worst people on this planet. We raise our glass to you and to your healing and to a better world that we will become better stewards of, one and all. Cheers to you all. Awesome. And I didn't even say bear with me, right? All right, so let me just take that off for a moment. I'll put it back on. All right, sorry if that woke anybody up. So, 2020 has been quite a year, as we know, and I am so happy that my voice found its way to you and that we have been able to share so much together on this journey that we are on to awaken ourselves, awaken our minds, awaken our hearts, awaken our souls like never before. And whenever we open those things, whenever we open our souls, open our hearts, open our minds, we understand that we are also putting ourselves at risk of being harmed, of being hurt, of being made fun of. And when we do this, it's such a great experience to have our hearts open and our minds open and be able to find each other. I mean, folks, we're 1,400 people here on a New Year's Eve, we have a mini Times Square here, right? And we're here together. And even in Times Square, you're not with people that are of like mind. You might find some friends and make some new friends in the crowd. But here, we are of like mind. We are we are open, we are loving, we are wanting truth. We are wanting to connect with others that are tired of being lied to and are anxious, yearning for connection with others that are awake to the world around us. And I really can't say it any differently than that. It's just bringing our awareness to the world around us in such a way that we realize, this doesn't work for me. This isn't going to continue while I'm alive. And because I'm not okay with it, I'm going to support those who also aren't okay with it. Donald John Trump, our president, and who will go down, I believe, as the best president this country has ever seen, including Washington, including Lincoln, even though they were, incredible presidents and incredible times. But this is such an important time in our human history. And it wouldn't be possible without the leadership of Donald John Trump, without the support of his family, without the support of the Q team, and all of the Anons, the autists, the keyboard digital warriors, and the Snedeheads. And while we may be a small group tonight of under 1,500 people, most likely 8,000 to 10,000 will see this by tomorrow, and we reached over 1 million people last week. And this all started with me just talking into my phone because I ran out of storage on my phone and my computer, and my friend had just died, and I said, you know what? It's time for me to start speaking the truth that I've come to find and just be authentic in my discovery of that truth, my journey through that truth, and my yearning to share that story and share that journey with others. And somehow my voice landed on your ears and has remained. And I am grateful for you allowing me into your home, into your car, into your bedroom. Keep it clean. Keep it clean. Because I've allowed you into my home. Right in the hearth of my home is where I, did my broadcast when I started doing it and showing screens. And I had to move that because it was a little disruptive to the home into this studio that we're in now, which was a storage unit, basically. And so we've allowed each other into each other's lives. And I honor that with what I bring you here today, tomorrow, last week, the week before, the month before that. And my goal, my intention is to spread the truth of what's really going on in this planet and provide a space where you can come and see how natural it is and how good it feels to just be yourself and not have to think about what you're going to say before you say it from the heart because of who else might be in the room. Your First Amendment here is protected. If it's not a respectful use of the First Amendment, then this is not the place for you. But if it is a respectful sharing of who you are, what you believe to be true, that's okay. But please understand that there's a difference that has become quite apparent in this past year together. And that is that there is opinion and there is fact. And the opinions of those who offer them often do not take the time to think and form them. That is a paraphrase of a John Fitzgerald Kennedy quote. And it's been so clarified in our society on this planet that there's a significant difference between each other's voices. And so many voices are being expressed without really doing their homework and understanding what's going on in the world. And those are becoming fewer and fewer, and those that are really awakening to what's going on in the world are becoming greater and greater. And the supposed divide in this election is not a 50-50 divide. It wasn't close. It was a red landslide, but not a Republican red. A Trump patriot red, straight from the flag knitted, sewn by Betsy Ross. It's that red that is the red that was the blood that was shed so that we may keep evil at bay and allow freedom to ring. That's the red. And it was a landslide. And it was a Trump landslide. And we are going to find that out on January 6th. We are going to see how everybody reacts and how far certain people are going to take this farce and this attempted stealing of our election. This is not up for debate. What we have experienced is an attack on our republic by a foreign entity known as the Chinese Communist Party, who have agents, spies, to the tune of 100,000 around the planet, who have infiltrated through bribery, through blackmail, through honeypots, through child sex slavery, through human trafficking, human donor trafficking, human organ donor trafficking. Not donors, human organs. Wasn't by choice. The selling of unborn babies. This is the stuff of horror movies. And Hollywood does a great job by always making the horror victim or the horror the person who's committing the horror to be this horrible looking evil person. And so we are led to believe that that's what they look like. And that they're not the ones in the suits and the ties that sit behind a desk paid for by us. Or that they're behind the fancy jewelry and walking the red carpets of Hollywood. Or the CEOs of major, massive corporations, or Wall Street, or bankers. What's your son do? Oh, he's a banker. That was a respectable position at one point in human history. Not anymore. Not anymore. So, how amazing that here we are at the end of 2020. And we've gone through this incredible year. Nobody who's alive will forget 2020. But here's the thing about 2020. 2020 is when we became clear of vision. That's when we got 2020 vision about the world around us. Because it's so much easier to see things with contrast, right? Same, there's a simple, not much contrast between these hands, right? But you put something up like this, and there's contrast. So they both stand out. And it was important to establish this stark dividing line contrast, which Donald John Trump in his tweets and his comments and his language made perfectly clear. That there was this clear delineation. Which side are you on? NFL, NBA, are you going to put rapists on your jerseys? Boom. Like Moses parting the Red Sea. You're on this side, you're on this side. You're going to support the NBA, which apologized to China because they're worth $90 million just in like this year. Are you going? So the dividing line was so stark and so clear. Literally, Moses was parting the seas on every single topic. You're going to kneel for the national anthem, NFL? Boom. Okay? Every single topic. Separated. You're going to try to impeach somebody for a phone call? Boom. You're going to be talking about a Russian collusion of last election for 4 years with no proof, even though you said time and time again you had proof. Boom. There's people that are like, yes, he's guilty. And there are people like, what are you talking about? Where's the proof? $40 million, no proof. Clear delineation. Clear separation of who's paying attention and who's not. Or let me phrase that differently. Who's paying attention to the mainstream media and who has turned off their television, including Fox, including Newsmax, which I've told you a long time ago to beware of. Challenge everything, including the things I say to you here. Think. That's what we started to do this year. Because once you start realizing you just can't go from one spoon feeding to another spoon feeding to another spoon feeding, from MSNBC to Fox to Newsmax, from one spoon feeding to another, all these companies cutting away to commercials, fattening their pockets with products and companies that are a part of the problem to begin with. There's a transfer of energy that we are a part of. In a world where 98% of the people who watch this on YouTube, on the internet, anywhere, do not donate. Do not donate to, no matter what it is, Wikipedia or any NPR or anything. Most people don't donate, which is why the capitalist model has been elevated. But the capitalist model that has been elevated has been bastardized by these corporations that keep money flowing in each other's pockets, and they are advertising our demise. Every product practically advertised on mainstream media is either poisoning us, enslaving us in debt, in other ways, or pandering to our tastes versus what it is we really need. So 2020, what a year. 2020 was a year when we found out from this broadcast that Donald Trump was saying hidden scourge, and you knew it a week before everybody else that he was talking about human trafficking. A U.S. president, for the first time in my memory, who is actually talking about human trafficking and actually doing something about it. The first president who talked about securing the border and actually did something about it. The first president who talked about taking care of our veterans, taking care of our servicemen, and actually did something about it. The president who was fully aware and still is fully aware that this virus was a bioweapon from Chinese Communist Party, and it was meant to, and if you go back to my shows from February and March, you know, how many here know, I was telling you exactly what it was, exactly why, the Hegelian dialectic of what was transpiring in 2020. And that is, they needed Trump out of office. And so they had to create something that would ruin our economy, that would make Trump look bad, that would kill people, that would allow us to be in such fear that we are begging for a vaccine, and then have the nanotechnology particles ready to go that go into the body, spread throughout the body, and now turns the human being into AI. Which, if you'll follow what I said to you last night, was it last night? Or the night before, about Steiner, Rudolf Steiner, who predicted this in 1917 about these people and how they would try to vaccinate us and take our souls from us. Why? Because their souls have been taken from them in a cremation of care ceremony in front of their idol Moloch. So they want to take ours as well, because they don't have compassion as we do. Because they can't stick their heel into our neck and twist if they have compassion. And the only way to rule when you have such divisiveness, when you have such poverty, such famine, such pestilence, such wars and death and genocide, the only way to control people is to control their minds through the fluoride in the water and the aluminum and the mercury in the vaccines at a young age, to the chemtrails with the aluminum in them that are stealing our dreams when we sleep through our pineal gland being calcified, and they steal our dreams when we are awake by making us passive so that we will conform. And then throw public education and puritanical, reward punishment paradigm at us in an education format. So by the time we get out of school, we are so done learning. We have had every ounce of curiosity ripped from our being by the actual and absolute monotonous droning of education without drawing this passion out of us, this curiosity. This is how they've controlled us. And on top of that, with the big pharma, with the food, they have weakened us. And with our actual, media, they have titillated us, and they have lied to us. All the way from Hollywood down to your local news station. 2020. was our opportunity to have 2020 vision about the world around us. And we did that. And we are doing that continually and sharing this information with each other. But as we venture out into the world to communicate with our friends and our family and try to make them aware of the reality of what's really happening on this planet behind closed doors, we need a place of respite. We need a place of replenishment. We need a place where we can come and be ourselves and not be laughed at, ridiculed, mocked, or spoken down to. Because we know, with the information that we now have, with the tools and the ability that we now have to actually find out our own information, dig for the source, dig for the date, dig for the other sources that have found the same thing. Go to the source, share it with others, and find out the truth about what's really happening. Those tools will carry us into 2021 and 2022, and we need to refine those tools every day, and we need to teach our children those tools. Don't just accept spoon-fed information, memorize it as fact, deliver it as fact, memorize it, and regurgitate it back to your teacher for a good grade, nor get that spoon-fed information and regurgitate it at your next cocktail party or dinner party. Because somebody will come along with a spoon that looks good, sounds good, smells good, tastes good, and you will take that as well without checking out to make sure that it's accurate, that it's factual, and that if it is speculation, understanding the difference between those two and sharing that information as such. Because if we don't carry these tools forward into the next year, the next decade, then we will fall prey to another Machiavelli that comes along in a fancy suit and tie with bright lighting and studio backdrop and makeup and hair and lie to you. You will be able to tell the difference. You will be able to see things for what they really are, because no longer will you be spoon-fed lies and misinformation and disinformation at the hands of the people whose job it is to do exactly that and are paid very, very well to do exactly that. To lie to you so that they can cover up the atrocities committed by those in power, those whose wealth surpasses even the people that you see on the Forbes top 10 and the top 20 lists of, richest human beings on the planet. It ain't Gates, people. It ain't Soros. It ain't Oprah. It's people, most of which you've never heard of. And they keep it that way because they own the mouthpieces that are doing the talking and betraying you. 2020. I have never been so grateful for a year as this past year. Not just because I grew a small following into an army of Snedheads. That is awesome. That is exciting. But because more human beings awakened this year than any other year in human history. And it happened because you knew you were being lied to. You knew none of this makes sense. God bless all those whose lives were extinguished by COVID, all those people whose lives were altered horrendously because they lost somebody, and all those who lost lives other ways, through suicide, through depression, through other ways in which you actually suffered. Small businesses that suffered. God bless you all. We will rise again. You will rise again. Because you realize that none of this makes sense. Walking into a restaurant with our mask off, sitting down, taking our mask off, eating our dinner. If you have to go to the bathroom, you got to put your mask back on. Same air circulating. Airports, we got to sit, stand 6 feet away from each other so we can pile into a plane and sit on top of each other. And you have to have your mask on, of course, unless you're eating or drinking. Then it's okay. None of this makes sense. Your business has to be shut down. Your restaurant has to be shut down, even though you spent $60,000 for outside tables and chairs, like this woman did in Woodland Hills. But we're going to have a production, a Hollywood production, and they're going to set up tables and chairs in the same parking lot you did, but they can operate without a problem. None of this is making sense. The numbers don't make sense. The motivation doesn't make sense. And the ultimate goal here was to take Trump out of office, because the CCP will crumble once Trump is back in on Inauguration Day. The CCP will crumble, and we will be a part of it because we won't be buying their junk anymore. And if we do, we're going to see to it that those companies are starting to manufacture here in the United States, so the next time we buy it, it's from a U.S. manufacturer or another country's manufacturing, but not CCP. Because it will be exposed that they tried to subvert our republic through the exact means I mentioned. And that's all going to come out between now and Inauguration Day. And I believe that we are going to see a Nasara and Jassara, where money is going to be flowing back to the people, us, that it was stolen from through income tax and higher taxation that went right into the pockets of these international bankers. We are done with China, folks. But do you see how it had to come to this extreme for us to be done with China? We are done with politicians lying to us. But do you see how it had to come to this extreme? And it's going to have to go to another extreme on January 6th. It's all coming to an end. But it had to come to this extreme to awaken people up, because there are some that are still not awake. There are some that are so excited for Joe Biden to take over his presidency, and they have no idea who this man is or what he's involved in or how he's completely compromised by the Chinese Communist Party. He will not be president. Happy New Year, everybody. I'm telling you, cheers. This next year, how many of you said 2020 is going to be my year? Huh? 2021. It's not going to be a cakewalk, but we are going to step out of this place we've been in quite beautifully. Leslie, there are some good politicians, yeah, but I don't talk about the dead ones. I'm kidding. I agree with you. There are some good politicians, no question about it. Not very many. Assange has said 99% of Washington, D.C. will fall. Q has said 90% will fall. Yes. Jeff said Monkey Works had a flight log with John Roberts heading to Gitmo. Interesting. Now, John Roberts is on a flight log to Epstein Island. I don't know about Gitmo, but I tell you what, that's where he's headed. Folks, Lynn Wood is crushing it. Crushing it. And this isn't somebody that is like, this isn't some Hollywood star who's saying, all throwing things around. This isn't Carl Reiner or, any of these, assholes. This is a man who understands what libel and slander are and is not going to put himself in a position where he can be sued. Notice nobody is suing Lynn Wood for the things Lynn Wood is saying. You know why? Because Lynn Wood wants Roberts to sue him. Because then he'd be able to show discovery of why he said what he said and would be able to subpoena Roberts for some of those things that Roberts knows. Alrighty. Welcome, everybody. Hey, Todd, Cindy, why don't you chime in here? I'd love to have you on board. And so we can start to celebrate and talk about the high points of the year. Cheers, everybody. Happy New Year, Snedheads one and all. I love you all. Thank you for being here tonight. Oh, by the way, Epstein is alive. Go back to my video. The morning that I found that my buddy Sean let me know that Epstein was dead, the first thing I said was, he's not dead. He's alive. He's alive. He's alive. Hold on, Cindy. Hold on. I got you. Hold on. I got to take this off and put this on. Hello.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
I don't have any noisemakers. I just have a full house of kids. Does that count?
Live noisemakers.
They
Live
count.
noisemakers.
They make more noise than this, I'll tell you that.
Oh, that's for sure.
So you got the house full tonight, celebrating some New Year's Eve?
We sure do.
That's
Bringing
awesome.
in 2021. We're ready for it.
I am as well. I am very excited for what is to come.
Absolutely.
And it's good. Tell us how your general feeling is on 2020. I'd love to hear just a few minutes of your thoughts on the matter.
Well, I think that I'm ready to just flush it down the toilet.
Okay.
How about that? That's a nice little short scenario of it.
Hey.
No, I think it was a year of growing and learning and sharing and meeting a lot of wonderful friends through the Snedheads.
Yep.
Can't even say how much Todd and I appreciate all the words and texts that we have received from everyone when our accident happened, and we just love all of you, and we appreciate everything, and we're glad to be on this ride with you and not give up, and we're in the long haul. I think we're kind of in the 11th hour, hopefully, and I'm ready for 2021 to come in and just rock, and we'll be like we've never even seen before, and we won't even remember 2020. We'll be like, yeah, we survived it. What else you got,
Yeah.
So,
don't
ever give up, guys. It's always going to get better.
This year I know it was rough on a lot of people. You had a lot of issues with the accident and with the concussion and just getting your life back to normal to another level. Yep. And a lot of people have lost people. A lot of people have lost family members because they can't talk to them, or they it's just, I think this year, if we're going to flush it down the toilet, might need a couple flushes.
I think so too.
So sometimes it just doesn't go down, folks, and you come back and you're like, okay, that one's going to need another.
Todd said it might need a plunger.
It might need a plunger. He's right.
Yeah.
You know what? Here's one of the things that we're going to do in the new year. We're going to have plungers with Todd's face on them.
There you go.
I think that's
The
one of
Tesla
the
plunger.
that's going to be our merch.
Oh, Lord. No, as Todd has told our family, when things have been tough, we don't look in the back. We don't look in our rear view mirror. We keep going forward, just like when you're driving a car. You look forward. You don't keep looking in your rear view mirror because all that does is cause problems. So you want to keep a good attitude and keep looking forward. So that's what we're going to do is keep looking forward for 2021, and it's only going to get better.
Cindy, if the rear view mirror is as big as we oftentimes make it, we can't see anything in front of us.
Oh, no, no. We can't let that happen.
No, not at all. Not at all. Awesome. Great feedback. How about you, Todd? How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. Happy New Year, Snedheads. Happy New Year, Dave.
Happy New Year.
Okay, that's gotta go.
Wow. There went 300 people.
You're losing people, Dave. Don't do that.
My opinion of 2020, Dave?
Yeah.
The Great Awakening.
Yep.
That's how I see it, because if I look back even to 2018,
Did I lose you, buddy? I think I lost him, folks. Talk about it's been a year of miscommunication too. We've had some trouble communicating over the many shows. Let me call them back. Get them back in here. Let's see. We have been censored multiple times on this broadcast in more ways than I can even begin to tell you. And yet we continue to prevail.
Hello there.
Hey, so that just summed up 2020 right there.
Did I even get a word out?
We can still hear you.
Yeah,
I know you could.
We could hear you, but you couldn't hear me. I just gave the best summation of 2020, and nobody heard it. So that's typical, yeah. 2020 is, I think, one of the best things that could have ever happened.
Yeah.
I honestly do. I look at it as painful as it was, and as nasty as it was, and how heartbreaking for a lot of folks. I kind of look at it this way, that it had to happen, and it had to be painful, and we all had to wake up more than we'd ever been awakened in our lives in order to see what's out there. I mean, I today took a little break from looking at things and watched The Matrix today. Again.
Dude, that's what I want to watch tonight. I can't believe that. That's what I plan on watching tonight.
I was just looking, and I was actually going to watch that White Squall and put that on for Cindy and I, and we were just going to take a break and watch a movie, which we rarely do. And I couldn't.
By the way, I love how you took a break from watching The Matrix and watched The Matrix. That was that. I don't know if you can call that a break. I don't know if you can call that a break or not.
Yeah.
We still have our white rabbit.
Well, I really wanted to look behind the scenes a little more. I don't think we're getting
Cindy and I took a break today from all this madness, and we watched Fall of the Cabal.
War castles. A little light movies.
Yeah. It was just something. I just was like, you know what? I need to refresh and see how this ends.
Right.
I want to see how it ends. So, since we were locked in the Matrix for 2020, I wanted to find out what 2021 was going to be like. So I had to pay attention at the end of the movie, which I think we're approaching now. But I look at it, I've almost looked at everything opposite this year, and I think that's been the way to do it. When it seems like the worse or the the difficult to believe stories that come out, the more crazy. It's almost like just in the last week, that we talked about the bill that was passed for supposed COVID relief, and then you see that illegal aliens or illegal people in the country get $1,800 and normal tax-paying Americans get $600. When you see things like that, it's just so obvious what President Trump and what his team are trying to do. They're trying to expose things so we see them. We have to be awakened. It's been that way throughout 2020. President Trump comes out like the week that COVID came out and said, "Oh, that drug, the name we can't say, that we know works, that no one can say. Everybody knows it works because we have countries that take it, and all of a sudden it's dangerous. I mean, the whole thing has been exposure and awakening to the masses. And there is pain involved, and I feel for people just like you, Dave. I mean, gosh, with people that lost loved ones and, all the pain and misery that was caused by it, is it's immense, and it's awful. And, we talked about butts last night and what they mean, but all of this had to happen so that people would awaken on a mass scale. If 2020 was not as bad as 2020 was, then our lives would have continued just, this normal slavery, debt-ridden. We would have never had a chance to come out of the other side.
No.
And so, it's like when we were working out, to become, Division I athletes or professional players, there's no pain, there's no gain. And as painful as it is, the positive is, I can tell you that there's a large percentage of the population that will not accept the way things were, and more and more people join that side every day. And as long as we keep growing and sticking together, then people will regain the power, and we have a chance at a way better future than ever before. So, you can't just totally flush it, even though everybody'd like to, and it's awful. You just have to take what you got out of it and remember that we don't want to go back. And that's why, the hindsight is 2020 is what hit me. The hindsight that we use when we look back on 2020 should be reflecting on what we learned, and what lessons can we take into the future, and what lessons can we teach to our children and our children's children. And this should be a generational thing that shifts, that they'll be, since we went through this pain, just like in the revolution, there had to be people that were strong enough to risk their lives and to stand up for what was right, and for a better future. I mean, that's what everybody wants. So if you don't go through pain, you're not going to get that future that you want in the end.
Todd, you mentioned the Revolutionary War. I want to read something to you that I never knew this. But I want to just jump on that topic there and then let you continue. But by signing the Declaration of Independence, the 56 Americans, this was sent to me by a friend of mine, the 56 Americans pledged their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honor. It was no idle pledge. 9 signers died of wounds during the Revolutionary War. 5 were captured or imprisoned. Wives and children were killed, jailed, mistreated, or left penniless. 12 signers' houses were burned to the ground. 17 lost everything they owned. No signer defected. their honor, like their nation, remained intact. That's on a headstone somewhere. I don't know where, but
Wow.
I never knew that.
I'd never heard that myself, but that, that kind of just, it kind of jives with what I was saying. We knew at some point, Dave, we knew the subjects that we were talking about, and we knew how that it was dangerous, to talk about a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
And to try to awaken the masses and try to do something about it, it was never a cakewalk by any means. There were times that I wondered, this summer and this fall, that I was like, now I know why there's so many Anons.
Yeah.
They didn't put their name out there. They didn't put their face out there. But
which was difficult to do back in the day. You got to show up to sign it, but on the internet, it allows you to be anonymous, right?
Right. Yeah, I mean, you can start a Twitter account and be anonymous. You can do what Santa Surfing's doing and remain anonymous.
Yeah.
Nobody knows exactly who she is, or they know where she's kind of, she's from Hawaii, but they don't know. She's not putting her face out there, and
right.
Dealing with people in their hometown that might have watched the show, and what.
I thought about doing this anonymously, especially with his face. I mean, come on. This is not selling tickets, people. Okay, so that's not the moneymaker. Okay.
Yeah. But heck, I was already involved by the time, when we started talking as friends, and not even really like talking about like a show. Mm-hmm. We were kind of just sharing information, and it was just a discussion we had, and then it just kind of grew, and then it just went from there. It became a living thing.
Yeah.
And so by the time it's your Facebook, it's your YouTube, and by the time we were even thinking about what was happening, we were already out there. We couldn't back off and be anonymous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, part of it was that I wanted to be live, because anything else is scripted. And so for me, okay, this is on my mind. Let me pull over to the side of the road. Let me, walk out to the beach. Let me, sit in my car, and let me just tell you what I'm thinking and what I see going on in the world. And so that just became naturally, just because it was live and I had my camera. And then as it grew, I realized the power of live, because one of the things that I think is so tragic is that when we're talking to somebody, we know if they've already scripted it and made it up.
Right.
Especially like you walk into a store and you hear somebody say, "Oh, can I help you find what you're looking for?" or whatever. You know they've been scripted to say exactly that.
Right.
When you go into a bank and they're talking to you that way. So we're so used to scripted information from the television, from the movies, from everything, that we're failing to understand when that script is off the screen as well. And so one of the things that's so integral in human communication is that I'm looking at you and you're seeing me think of what I'm going to say as I'm saying it. You see me fumbling, you see me raw, you see, you're on live. Cindy's on live. And you guys are perfect. Why? Because that's who you are. This is who I am. You can't come on a live show unless it's if you're not who you are. And in order to do that, like SNL, you have to have, You have to have cue cards. You have to have rehearsal 5 days before the show. You have to have the writing, the rehearsal, the dress rehearsal. You know, if you're not going to be who you are. If you're who you are, you don't need to prep. You don't need to, script. And so that's what we're missing in human communication, I find. And
Right.
that's what I think is so refreshing about what we're doing. And oftentimes we're finding stuff out live with you guys because of what you're dropping you.
Right.
Elise says you need to be witty to be live. Yeah, I agree, Elise. Thank you. I think I've crafted that over the years. Patty says, "True, Dave. Unscripted is real." Somebody said, I think it was Belinda. By the way, I wanted to mention this, Todd, because we were talking about The Matrix. That she said I watched The Matrix last week just so I could understand you all.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, honest to God, it was, it had been a long time, and I had watched parts of it many times over, but not the whole thing intently for a long time. And it was, it was just something I don't know why I was drawn to it, but I was like thinking, well, maybe they can tell us what tomorrow is going to bring.
Yeah.
And I think it did in a way, because of the manifestation part of the end. Don't
give it away. Don't give it away.
Yeah, I don't want to give it away, but it's.
No, I think everyone's seen it.
It's a good thing, and it shows you that what the human mind is capable of if it's unleashed. We only use 5 to 10%. I think there's different studies on that, but
yes. Exactly.
If we're only using that much of it, there's a lot of that gray matter that's sitting around doing nothing. And I think by activating and engaging in what we're doing, maybe we're using 1 more percent. Maybe we're using 2. Maybe we're starting to think, expand our minds and accept that maybe we're not alone on this planet, and there's things that we don't know about and we have never been taught for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And it's,
right.
It's a good thing. It's we've talked many times off air about how we feel so honored to even be alive at this time in human history.
Yeah.
Because of where we have the possibility of going. I mean, it's there's never been a chance at a better life or freedom or, changing the whole world. Our country's had its times, where it was a great time to be in this country, and other countries have too, but they've never had a worldwide country to country to country. I mean, from the, if everything comes true in Nasara Jasara, then the whole world will benefit.
Yes. And I want to, go ahead.
I mean, and if they unleash all the technologies that have been hidden from us medically, everyone benefits.
Yes.
And if they expose, all of the things that have been done to us in the past, and they change the future, then everyone on the planet benefits. It's not just, us, it's everyone, and there's never been a chance to do this.
A couple things. One, fishes and loaves caught me in a little fib. We do have cue cards, Todd.
Oh, 17 cards.
Exactly. There's
That's
there's one here, there's one there. Yeah, that's awesome. And also, you mentioned Nasara, and I wanted to pull up in the chat from Pam Krutzberg. Is saying the only thing that President Trump has to do, and I lost it, Pam, because it went bye-bye, but she's basically saying that the only thing that Trump has to do is to announce Nasara Jasara, or even just announce Nasara for our country. And I agree with her. That would be a layup. Once he does, it's all over, right?
Yep.
But and he knows that too, and Q knows that, right?
Right.
So why aren't they?
There's more to expose.
There's more to expose. That's what's going on here, folks. This is about exposing the cabal, exposing the deep state for who they really are. And look who's going to be exposed. People were asking, what about Pence? Do you think Pence might be exposed on January 6th? How's Pence going to handle Congress?
My thought is yes. He needs to be exposed.
Is he going to expose himself by allowing the electorate votes?
Yeah, and a lot of people, I've been asked this privately through messages I've seen, and they're like, "Why do you think he's so bad? Why does he's his running mate, he's his wingman?" Well, have you ever heard of keep your enemies, your enemies, your friends close, but your enemies closer?
Right.
Look what President Trump has had to do to expose everyone that he has so far. He's had to have them close, and they've had a chance to betray him. And
yes.
Now there's even exposure now coming out about Mark Meadows.
Yeah, he's not allowing access to the president with Sidney Powell.
Yeah, and that's
Which
and Lynn Wood.
That's not going to happen. I mean,
yeah, and Lynn Wood is exposing a lot of people, and like you said, he's not holding back. And believe me, that's trending on Twitter. He is trending on Twitter almost nightly.
Yep,
and
he's dropping bombs, dude. He's dropping absolute bombs.
And like you said, he's not some crazy guy off the street. He's a guy that has a reputation and has, he's not some lunatic. And that, for him to just, take the gloves off and let it rip like that is refreshing.
Yep.
Because we've known about Roberts for, I don't know, years.
Exactly.
And, and even when impeachment was going, we were thinking, well, if it's a split 50-50, that's what Soros was talking about, Russ Roberts voting to impeach and remove. Yep. He was the deciding vote.
Yeah.
So, this exposure process, he's the last one on the list not the last one, but the last big one, and I think the one that's going to really wake people up.
A couple things. First of all, I want to say thank you, Barbara Fry, for your fabulous donation. She says, "Thank you, Dave, for sharing the light. Here's to a beautiful new year ahead with the Sneds." Barb. Thank you, Barb. Appreciate you. If you guys care to donate, I will read this on air, whatever message you'd like me to say tonight. I wanted to share this, Todd. This is a picture of Wuhan, China. Once the coronavirus epicenter, thousands pack Wuhan, China, and let go of balloons to celebrate the new year. Okay? And then, by the way, not seeing a lot of masks, although it's difficult to make out. Here's New York City, Times Square. That is one of the saddest pictures I've ever seen. And I'll tell you, I always like to credit photographers for their work or credit artists for their work. And I will tell you this picture would not have been possible without Reuters, Rothschild-owned and controlled Reuters, and it could not have been possible without Andrew Cuomo and Bill de Blasio, who is not Bill de Blasio. He's Wilfred Wilhelm. And how the hell this guy who is a communist and studied communism and went to Venezuela as a young man. Let me pull it up here for you. Let me see if I can capture this for you. There we go. Hold on. This is meet Warren Wilhelm Jr., born with a silver spoon in his mouth. Parents had to leave federal jobs because they were communist. He left college to go to Nicaragua in the 80s. Nicaragua, I said Venezuela. And greatly admired the Soviet-backed socialist Sandinista. He returned to America and joined the Nicaragua Solidarity Movement of New York, whose goal was to end capitalism and replace it with democratic socialism. When married in '94, he honeymooned in Cuba. Said he is very proud of his Marxist work, worked for both of the Clintons' campaign. In 2001, he changed his name to Bill de Blasio. Okay? A lot of Italians in New York, folks. De Blasio, that's Italian. These are the people who are lying to us. These are the people who are enslaving us. And what Todd's talking about is that we need this next level, this final level, if you will, of people to expose themselves without, President Trump calling on Nasara Jassara, as he will, I believe. And a lot of intel out there that says that we're very close, folks. It's very close. And so what's important in all of this, Todd, the reason I bring this up is it's important to understand who is responsible for our misery. If you live in New York, Andrew Cuomo and Bill de Blasio, if you're in New York City, are responsible for your misery. But not just them, but who they answer to, which is the Chinese Communist Party, the Clintons, Soros. And that's what's important to remember, because we have to hold these people accountable. But without this 2020, Wilhelm never gets exposed. We needed this to expose these people. And we need January 6th to expose Pence. And what do you think he's going to do on the 6th?
I think he's going to disappoint everyone and accept the Electoral College vote, the votes, the fraudulent votes.
Mm-hmm.
Because if he doesn't, then he's not exposed.
Right.
And where does that put us in the matrix? I don't know the plan. 10 people know the plan.
Yeah.
I look to it every day. I take everything and I try to find the answer in there, but I don't know how it's going to end, but I know they have a plan for the ending. And I think it's going to be epic, and I think it's going to be biblical, and I think it's going to be so big that everybody on the planet's going to know what these people did.
Yep.
And I don't know about the, I keep thinking back that it's biblical. They keep saying biblical in the 17 drops. And when you think biblical and you think, the end of times, you think Book of Revelations.
Yeah.
And you look at all the things that are synonymous between 2020 and the Book of Revelations. You don't really have to be a biblical scholar, and you really don't have to be even a historical scholar to make a lot of parallels, to draw a lot of parallels to where we are. And that's at the end of Revelation. It doesn't necessarily say what the other side looks like.
Right. I think that it's going to go one of two ways, obviously. the way you mentioned, where he's going to not, he's going to allow the electorates. And then we are going to, then it's the military. And 17 has said, military is the only way.
Yep.
Or
Yep.
he is not going to accept the electorates as he should legally. And he is then going to announce President Trump as the next president, and then we're going to have riots, and it will have to be controlled by the military. So either way, I see that the military is going to have to get involved. Martial law is going to have to get involved, especially as they expose these human beings for what they are. And how interesting, Todd, that on today, President Trump released a executive order calling for immediate release December 31st, 2020, National Slavery and Human Trafficking Prevention Month 2021. Human trafficking, it's a proclamation. Human trafficking is a horrific assault on human dignity that affects people in the United States and around the world. It tears apart communities, fuels criminal activity, and threatens the national security of the United States. During National Slavery and Human Trafficking Prevention Month, we reaffirm our commitment to eradicate this abhorrent evil, to support victims and survivors, and to hold traffickers accountable for their heinous crimes. Tragically, through force, fraud, and coercion, human traffickers deprive millions of victims of their unalienable rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, often referred to as modern slavery. This intolerable blight on society involves exploitation for labor or sex and affects people of all ages, genders, races, religions, and nationalities. As the United States continues to lead the global fight against human trafficking, we must remain relentless in our resolve to dismantle this illicit and immoral enterprise in our cities, suburbs, rural communities, tribal lands, and transportation networks. Transportation networks. Todd, how often have we talked here on this broadcast that if 2,000 children are missing a day just from the United States alone, they have to be taken somewhere, transported. Evergreen, Wayfair, all these people that have the communication tools and the tracking tools of these humans are involved in this. So my administration has prioritized ending human trafficking since its earliest days. As one of my first acts as president, I instructed federal agencies to do what was necessary to bring human traffickers to justice and assist survivors on their road to recovery. Since then, the United States Immigration and Customs Enforcement, along with other federal agencies, has aggressively pursued these criminals, dismantling the financial infrastructure of their networks and arresting over 5,000 human traffickers. In 2019 alone, federal law enforcement agencies initiated more than 1,600 new investigations into human traffickers, and the Department of Justice's human trafficking task forces opened more than 2,500 new cases on the front line. At my direction, the Department of Homeland Security launched its new Center for Countering Human Trafficking, which, by the way, we covered that. There were like 4 or 5 news reporters at the opening of the Center for Countering Human Trafficking, probably the most heinous crime on the planet. Trump opened up this center. Like 5 mediocre reporters showed up. No questions were asked. They opened it up for questions. No questions were asked by any of the mainstream media. Nobody reported it on the mainstream media. Why? Why, Todd? Why would they not report that? It's news.
it's not news that they want the American people to know about.
There you go. Which utilizes personnel from 16 Department of Homeland Security components, including special agents, victim support specialists, and intelligence research specialists, to focus on disrupting and dismantling trafficking organizations, providing support and protection to victims. A year ago, I was proud to host the White House Summit on Human Trafficking, honoring the 20th anniversary of the Trafficking Victims Protection Act of 2000. During this historic event, I signed an executive order on combating human trafficking and online child exploitation in the United States. Through this order, my administration established the first ever White House position focused solely on combating human trafficking. Last year, I also released a comprehensive, I got to go back to, this is, by the way, this is from George News. National Action Plan to Combat Human Trafficking, built around the three pillars of the TVPA: prevention, protection, and prosecution. It also includes a fourth pillar, which recognizes the invaluable benefit of implementing collaborative and cooperative efforts that cross-cut all three pillars and involve a multitude of stakeholders and professionals from various disciplines and sectors. Using a strategy, the U.S. government will employ a whole-of-government approach to improve our capabilities and build on existing momentum in our fight against human trafficking. We remain focused on ensuring that survivors of these crimes, horrific crimes, receive the care and support they need and deserve. My administration is empowering and funding faith-based and community organizations to provide survivors with vital services. Folks, there's a reason why I'm reading this to you, and I know it may not be a part of your New Year's Eve celebration, but bear with me here, because this is really fantastic news when you understand what's happening here, and I think you already do. Providing these survivors with vital services, including medical and counseling services, safety planning, educational opportunities, and vocational training. Further, how many children, how many people do you think are going to be involved in this? There's a lot of people that are being trafficked every single day. Human beings, just like you and me, that weren't so lucky. Further, my administration has doubled the amount of DOJ funding to combat human trafficking compared to the previous administration, and funded the largest package of DOJ grants to fight these crimes in American history. He gave $100 million to it. I am proud that these grants included the first ever funding for safe housing opportunities for survivors nationwide. And by the way, I think his next paycheck for the first quarter of 2021, I bet it will be for this particular service, and I think we'll be good to go on that. How am I doing?
Like your new headphones. You need to come in if you want. We're gonna
Okay.
FaceTime the Quins at 6:30.
Okay, thank you, babe. See you in a bit. Despite the challenges posed by this pandemic this year, my administration has been unwavering in its efforts to stop this scourge domestically and around the world. Remember, hidden scourge. The DOJ and the Department of Health and Human Services engage with state, local, tribal, and territorial governments and non-governmental organizations to understand the impact of coronavirus on human trafficking. So it gets into how they're going to take care of the people who were a part of this. I, therefore, Donald Trump, President of the United States of America, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Constitution and the laws of the United States, do proclaim January 2021 as National Slavery and Human Trafficking Prevention Month, culminating in the annual observation of National Freedom Day on February 1st, 2021. I call upon industry associations, law enforcement, private businesses, faith-based and other organizations of civil society, survivors and advocates, schools, families, and all Americans to recognize our vital roles in ending all forms of modern slavery, and to observe this month with appropriate programs. That National Freedom Day, February 1st, how interesting. Barbara Bookman, thank you very much. Thank you. Happy New Year. Thank you for your donation. You rock. Thoughts on that, Todd?
Well, that's the first thing he signed. The first EO he signed when he became president was 1221. So it shows the importance and his commitment to remaining solid on that front. And I mean, I don't know that I'd heard that, so it's kind of just sinking in how important it is.
Right. And in that 1221, it was basically, the focus was on bringing them to justice, but also for funding this by taking all their assets.
Yes.
Of the companies and the people that are involved in this.
Which led to all the CEOs resigning early.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. It's
wow. That's amazing. That's great.
Isn't that huge?
Yeah, that's huge.
That's our president right there.
Does he sound like he's going anywhere?
He ain't going nowhere. He's going to be there for National Freedom Day. And by the way, National Freedom Day, here's the thing, folks. If you bring on Nasara Jassara, yeah, you're going to win the election. You start giving people a bunch of money, you're going to win. But he won the election for the right reasons. And now, once he gets back in the White House, Nasara may not be announced until National Freedom Day in February. I don't know. Because I want to see him take office without it. I'd love to have it before then, but that would might get me to DC on the 6th. But it's not it's not gonna happen. Because then it's like, well, sure, if you give people a bunch of money, they're going to vote for you or they're going to put you in office. Okay?
He bought the vote. Yep.
Right? So,
yes.
Yeah. He bought the vote. And that's what the Democrats are trying to do. Right? That's what the Democrats are trying to do.
Yeah. With Zuckerberg giving all his money, the $750 million, I believe he put into the elections.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a lot of cake.
Yeah. I wanted to bring up, somebody said that Justice Roberts' Twitter, Cindy, have you confirmed that?
I sent that to you.
Yeah, but
it's
did
in
you
your Facebook.
Did you confirm it?
Yeah, it was on. I looked at it on Facebook. Yes, I
Cool.
mean on Twitter. It's in our show chat area.
Yeah, from Tara Stokes, Borgank. I'm not pronouncing that correctly, but I will tell you this, that this is Justice Roberts' Twitter being suspended. Lynn Wood yesterday, a couple more questions for Chief Justice John Roberts. You are recorded discussing Justice Scalia's successor before date of his sudden death. How did you know Scalia was going to die? Are you a member of any club or cabal requiring minor children as an initiation fee? I've publicly accused him and Justice Breyer of being profane anti-Trumpers. That's all accurate. I've linked Roberts to illegal adoption, Jeffrey Epstein, pedophilia, and prior knowledge of Scalia's death. Linwood is also saying Epstein's alive, which I've been saying since day one, because he didn't have a kill switch. And if he had died, that's what kept him alive for so long, is people knew he had dirt on them, and if anything happened to them, that he was going to release the information. I have linked Roberts to illegal adoption. Did Roberts skip class on defamation? Maybe not. What Lynn Wood is saying there is, well, he would have a lawyer write up something that day and send to Lynn Wood a cease and desist, and but he doesn't. Why? Because he would then have to show discovery. He would then have to show what's in his hands, and that's huge.
That is huge.
Yeah. So let's go. Yeah, Epstein's alive, Christine, because he never had a kill switch. He never had anything come out that exposed everybody because he died. You know, if when you're like that, when you have that much power, you have over people, which is what he did. That's why he existed. He would have had a kill switch.
There was a couple other ones in that for you, Dave, from Carrie Spricks. A couple good videos from E.
Yeah, we gotta check out E. I saw Carrie's. This is good. I pulled this up. This is E will help you. This is Ezra Cohen Watnick. This is a Todd. Have you seen this before now?
Yes.
What was your takeaway?
Well, you know, I'm confused as many times as E has been put up and taken down and put up and taken down, and some of the information that's come out of some of the accounts.
Yeah.
That, you know, one of them was that he was trapped in West Virginia and needed help from the Patriots. Can you please reach out to me? And then he did also a hooded video where his face was covered and he was talking about all the operations that he ran.
Yeah.
Some of these were suspect to me, and so therefore I didn't know. I've lost track of if I can confirm him absolutely on that platform.
You mean whether or not that Ezra is on Parler?
Yeah,
But
and
this looks
plus
like him.
I know that. Are you going to be okay?
Well,
Plus, I know that, you know, I've completely kind of lost track of. Well, we know Parler is compromised also, correct?
right.
So
Yeah.
now, I'm not saying that that's not Ezra. I'm saying I don't understand two of those posts involved with, I believe, that account.
This
So
looks more like
I look at everything that, can I confirm it or can I not? And
Right.
I can't 100% confirm that because he's
Right.
not coming out and saying, hey, this is, you know, well, even if he says it through Twitter or Parler, you know, how do you know it's the real one? Does he have a check mark?
Right. Well, I do think that it is his style of what he was dropping on you know, on Twitter.
I do too.
But I will say, Snedheads, dig into this if you would. Find E will help you on Parler, and dig into this particular, you know, and you're going to see there's something written, you know, down here. There's something written down here. There's stuff up in here. You know, Beth Hill did an amazing decode on one of E's, and maybe Beth, maybe you could tackle this if you have time, because you did an amazing decode on the one with the archers. That was pretty awesome. Cindy, did you say that there was that you dropped me a video as well?
That excuse me.
Oh, I see it. I see it.
Yeah, that is. These are both from Carrie Spricks.
Okay, thank you. Go have another smoke and come back to us.
Oh my God!
I gave up smoking. It's hot.
And I'm fine.
All right, so let me show you guys this. This is 221. Now, is this going to be a copyright issue?
On the first one that we're talking about.
3 hours ago.
The black one, the E or the checkerboard? Which one are you talking about, Dave?
The video of the Okay,
The 3
yeah,
hours ago,
that's gonna be a
this is what
problem.
I said looks like E style, but this is also the one that
Okay.
Todd was just talking about.
So I will show you guys this. I'm not going to play it for you because I know what it is, because I know that music. It's from Les Miserables.
Yes.
I was
and
right.
yeah, and all I had to do was hear that one tune, and it's looks like Broadway production. I actually saw Les Mis on Broadway in New York when I lived there, and it was an amazing production. But it's about the French Revolution. You know, it's about the people finally saying, "No, we're not going to do this anymore, and we're going to fight back against the king, and we're going to storm Versailles, the castle, with which the king had everything, and the people had nothing." And so I love that that message is coming from for me. I love that. What I wanted to go to the chat, just see how you guys are all doing. Cheers, happy New Year. And here we go.
There went another 30 people.
It's hard to do this when I have my headphones on. But here we go. And by the way, my shirt, guys, I wear this shirt maybe once every year or 2 years. It's like a hairy shirt. I got it. I can't remember where the heck I got it. I think I got it at some like secondhand store or something, like I don't know, like some kind of store. But at any rate, it's got hair on it. It's fantastic. I love it for events like this. So I'm wearing that tonight. Smoking my noisemaker cigar here, hanging out with JFK and Carolyn and Q there, and a Red Nation behind me, and about, let's see, about 2,000 beautiful human beings here on the Snedcast. Welcome everybody. We're talking to Todd Gediminsky and Cindy Johnson from Spring Patch, Illinois. And we're ringing in the new year. Cheers, everybody. I hope you're going to have a nice celebration tonight and a wonderful day tomorrow. All righty.
Hey, Dave, I did have a little quick piece. If you're looking for that video, or if you're whatever you're doing, I had a short thing that involved just a few of the subjects that we covered this year on, looking back on 2020.
I love it. Sure.
And this is just a few things, and I'll just read them off. And these are not detailed. These are just top of the head subjects, and I probably missed a lot. But here are just a couple that we covered this year. I thought maybe it'd be interesting for everyone to hear.
Awesome. Yeah, let's hear it.
Okay.
By the way, Sar World says, Dave, you're the new Dick Clark.
Oh God. He's half right. Got you back.
And guess what that makes you? The new Ryan Seacrest.
I'll take it.
What's that make me?
That makes you the Rihanna. You just got to sing underneath my umbrella or something. I remember that one of the.
Oh my God.
Dave Clark.
You lost me. Okay, this is just a short list of things we covered this year.
Okay, awesome.
Impeachment, COVID, lockdowns, shots, warp speed, Nasara Jasara, RV, crash of economy, 2020 election, voter fraud, CGIs, arrests, clones, executions, state of emergency, state of war, World War IV, World War III was the Cold War, New World Order, MS-13, BLM, Antifa, Back the Blue, secret societies, three-letter agencies, shadow government, world peace, historic treaties, UFO disclosure, Galactic Federation, God's will, U.S. Corporation, Common Law Maritime Law, George Floyd, Obamagate, SpaceX, Independence Day, Clinton emails, TAV, Twitter coverage, religious indoctrination, worldwide events, Australia, Canada, Europe, Asia, Space Force, medical indoctrination, Epstein Maxwell, Hollywood pedo scandals, DUMBs, children, human trafficking, Frazzle Drip, Pizzagate, The Wall, 17 drops and decodes, big tech censorship, Project Mockingbird, MSM exposure, Queen, City of London, Royal Family, Ascension, the Vatican, Washington, D.C. symbolism, Military Industrial Complex, JFK, JFK Jr., Shadowgate, Lebanon Missile Strike, Nashville Missile Strike, Yellow Cube, Black Cube, Flat Earth, Looking Glass, Time Travel, Executive Orders, Education Indoctrination, Tesla's Inventions and Theories. I'm almost there. Schumann Resins, FISA-gate, Kim Jong-un, Rocket Man, and Trump speeches, riots, rallies, the Fourth Reich, Nazis, Operation Paperclip, High Jump, food supply, toxins, water supply, fluoride, toxins, Kobe crash, HARP, DARPA, record economy, Julian Assange, Edward Snowden, General Flynn, Chinese infiltration, the silent war. And last but not least, the story of the year, and I was a one-man vote. The Legend of Corn Pop versus Joe Biden. That's all we've covered.
Did you go over week 2?
So, and this was just off the top of my head, just going, what did we do this year? And then I was like, oh my God. So there's quite a few subjects there. Trilateral Commission. Oh my God.
Wow.
There's more.
And you got more?
Well, I know I'm missing something.
Yeah. Well, Corn Pop is a bad dude. Fishes and loaves. Masks, electronic disruptions. Come on, guys, let's hear from you. What else have we covered?
Yeah.
That's from Ann. And Dixie got knocked off Facebook for talking about masks.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. The show of the year for 2020 was Ricky Gervais' Golden Globe Roast of Hollywood.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
That was a lock. That was 100% vote count.
That was pretty cool.
And then I sent you a video, and we could maybe end the show, or you could put it in and do about 4 minutes of it occasionally, and then stop and do another. It's 12 minutes long, but it's the gaffes of Joe Biden through 2020, and it's hilarious.
Oh boy, yeah, I think that would be good. That would be good.
I sent that to you in Messenger a bit back.
I think that would be good.
But I was almost, to relive them. I'm just like, and there's our new president-elect. Aren't we proud?
Yes.
Dave?
Yeah.
Beth Shard Hill said for you to please check your messages on your phone. She sent you information on that e-photo.
Oh, I did see that. I want to jump to that. Exactly. Okay. This is good.
Beth,
so we'll wrap it up here. I got to wrap it up by 6:30.
What did I miss, guys? I know I missed a bunch, so I'll have to read the.
Yeah, drop what he missed.
It's probably something very obvious too, but those were just the ones that I came across, and I was like, oh my God, the subjects.
Folks, we got a special guest here this evening in studio with me. All right. that is Mr. Whistle Whiskers. Hi, buddy. How you doing?
He's upset because he was eating.
Oh, did I interrupt your eating?
He just finished eating.
Oh, okay. Well, here you go. Here's your little hat. There you go, Whiskers. Happy New Year. All right. So people wanted to say hi to you and wish you Happy New Year, Whiskers.
Gentle with him.
All right. Thank you.
Happy New Year, everyone.
My little girl says Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
See you shortly, sweetheart. Happy New Year from Todd and Cindy and all of the Sned heads.
Yes.
Mwah.
I love
See you,
it.
sweetie.
Thank you. Yeah, she's pretty awesome.
That's great.
So Todd, that was awesome, brother. See if you guys can see anything else coming in, and I got a couple things. Wow. I just wanted to say something to Lisa McFarland, who says 2020 was horrible. She lost 8 family members. My mother-in-law died at 12:30 a.m. this morning. My dad died in October. My husband and I are lost. Our only parents 2 months apart. Lost their only parents 2 months apart. Lisa, sorry to hear that. It was a very rough year for a lot of people, and many had rougher years than others. So God bless you, and let's keep Lisa and her family in our prayers, folks. Wow. Let's. I wanted to just go back to Beth. I'm going to wrap this up here shortly, guys, because we're going to get on a call with some friends at 6:30. So I got to wrap this up, but I wanted to go back to the E, and let's see. Okay, and I think where did that come in from? That came in from you, Cindy.
Carrie Spricks.
Right, but you
yes,
sent it to me, right?
From me into the show chat.
Okay. Yeah, I'm missing that. Okay. There's okay, I see it. All right, let me go back to that. And where is it? Okay, here it is. All right. So this was, let me show it to you, and then I want to tell you Beth's decode, which I haven't read yet. Okay, so this is the picture that is on, we believe, Ezra Cohen Watnick's account, who is the head of special ops in the Pentagon, second to Christopher Miller. Okay, Okay. The clock strikes 11/1/4/2021. Okay, that's this down here. The clock strikes 11. Okay, 1/4/2021. So that's all in there, right there in that black. So that's interesting. A clock strikes 11/1/4/2021. So be on the lookout for the clock striking 11/1/4/2021. Okay. This is if you blow this area up right here, okay, on the side of the tree it says Rome Falls, and down the front of this knight it says truth. Rome Falls and then truth. Awesome. Interesting. Also in Julian Assange's forehead, it looks like maybe a symbol of the pineal gland, but that would be closer to here. But and it looks like the sun. Okay, so that's interesting. sun on Julian Assange's forehead tells me that he's going to be released into the sunshine. Like he's going to be able to get sun once and for all. And then there's a lot of other things in here too. But Beth, that's awesome. Just that little decode right there. Really fantastic. Really fantastic. Awesome. And just wanted to give an update too. Angelina reached out to Jeff Seifert, and I had reached out to Jeff. Jeff, I'm glad that you're doing well, who, lost your best friend recently. And glad you're doing well. Glad you're a Snedhead. Angelina's a newbie as well. But we will be in touch. But I just wanted to just remark again just how fabulous all the Snedheads were who reached out, left their phone number for Jeff to be able to reach out and touch base with them and support him going through a difficult time. And folks, that's why we're here. We're here for community. We're also here for information, as you heard Todd. Todd, when you cover all those bases of what you just covered, is there any surprise that some of our shows went 7 hours?
Absolutely not.
I mean,
yeah. When I just started thinking of the list, I just kept going, and I was like, oh my God, we spent a lot of time on that subject also. And then I went to the next subject, and I was like, oh my God, we spent so much time on that subject. And most of them weren't just touched on; they were pretty much, they were researched until there wasn't any more to research with the help of the Snedheads, and the hive mind. I feel like we didn't leave many stones unturned, is what I'm saying, on any subject.
No, we didn't. We covered it all, and that's why a lot of you, rely on us for your news now. Because we're not going to leave you hanging. We're not going to leave stuff out that needs to be covered that's really important. One of the things
in the source checking, just the source checking, like I remain so leery to accept outside sources as information. I do just as much trying to, background checking the information, the person who provided the information or the source. Because we don't want to put out information that's incorrect. Our whole goal is to not just shoot information out there and see what sticks.
Right.
We want to put the right information out too. So when you want to put the right information out, you have to investigate the source of the information that you're getting just as much as you do the information itself. It's a long process. It's not easy.
Exactly.
And without the help of the Snedheads, it would be, impossible to hit so many subjects.
Well, I got to tell you, man. I know a lot of things about the world and what's happening. I've been researching it for 14 years, and I can speak on a lot of different topics. But when you involve others in a hive mind like we have, boy, it goes to a whole nother level. Like I can't even imagine. Like, see, this is how powerful we are. This is why we can't let people divide us. Okay, which they've been trying to do since the beginning of time, and still trying to do as we speak, trying to divide us through religion, through race, through gender, through socioeconomic development, through patriotism, wars against one country over another. They do it, friendly through sports. They divide us, and so what's important to understand is when we come together as a hive mind and we got things flying in, with all this information of so many of the Snedheads dropping beautiful information, we are so powerful that we are a juggernaut. And Rainbow Eagle says, thank you, Dave, Todd, Cindy, and others for a spectacular year. Thanks, Snedeye Jedi. Ah, Sned-Eye Jedi. I love it. For your company and wisdom. May we all embrace and be thankful for everything new in the coming year. Namaste. Thank you, Rainbow Eagle NC. Thank you for that.
Thank
A
you.
longtime listener,
you.
longtime supporter. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Hannah B. Happy New Year from Perth. Susan Dillon asks, Dave, you will still be here after Trump is in, right? Yes, absolutely. There's a lot to do here, folks, a lot to cover and a lot of conversation and community to have, because never forget this, folks. We'll always have the OG Snedheads. We'll always have this space, no matter how big we get, we'll always have this little space where we came together at a time of a human revolution was being unveiled, and we were a part of it. We weren't casual observers of it. We engaged in the process. You guys share out this broadcast hundreds of times every night. Thank you. Please keep doing that. Share out tonight's broadcast. Very important, especially on human trafficking, especially on the year recap. Please share this out. If everybody shares this out, it's amazing how this will spread. So please share this broadcast. And this is the kind of information that we're getting out there that is so important, because we're able to engage in this process. Because back when I was talking about the revolution, they were shooting people. They had to carry guns. Here, all you got to carry is your phone, and you hit share, and you send to somebody that you know needs to hear something, and you share information that we share here, and you talk about the masks, and you talk about all these things that are happening. Okay? And the t-shirt making kit is coming, folks. I'm so sorry. It's been a whirlwind year. That's why my body shut down, folks. My schedule has just been, wow. Yeah. Yeah, and Mindy says we still need to keep waking people up. This is our job and our duty. Absolutely. And guys, one of the things, I think one of the best things that that is, I think one of the best things that has come out of this last year is allowing ourselves to be engaged in the process, allowing ourselves to be engaged in this revolution. I think is so huge, so huge. Yeah, this is amazing. Yeah, beautiful. Barbara says, I love my.
Let you know it's 8:32.
Oh, thank you, buddy.
Just so you don't want to get in trouble.
No, I don't. And I wanted to do 2 hours, and my family gave me an extra half hour because they were aware of the false start. So so good stuff. I won't show that video, but it's I'll post it on Facebook, and that'll be worth some laughs. And you guys can share it off Facebook, okay?
Yeah, it's really good. It's well done.
I know a lot of you are not on Facebook, so my apologies there. And let me see. And you sent it to me, right, Todd?
Yes, I sent it in Messenger.
All right. Let's see if we can. And the other thing too is he's such a joke. I almost don't want, even though it's hilarious. I almost don't want to even give him any airtime. You know what I mean? He's such deep state crap.
Yeah.
It's like, you got to be kidding me.
Yep.
What would you like to end on tonight, Cindy? What would you like to say?
Well, I'd just like to say the past is the past. There is the present. All we got to do is look forward to the future, and it's going to be a bright one. And let's keep building each other up, not tearing each other down. And we look forward to 2021 being awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I really think I think it's really gonna be awesome. Thank you for that. Thank you for all your support of the broadcast and your heart and your mind. And you even showed up with your mind when your mind was a fraction of what it normally is due to your concussion. So I'm honored to, have you consider this broadcast as important as you do, that you are, willing to go against doctor's orders and to still search and dig and try to, find the truth buried somewhere, purposely, by others, and bring it to this broadcast. And
I try.
so thank you for your sacrifice and your heart and your
Thank
mind.
you. Thank you. Same to you, Jeff.
Thank you. And how about you, Tesla? What do you want to end on?
Let's end on a high note. Let's look at the future. I think there's a lot that we will be able to touch on in the coming months regarding the ascension of the human spirit and mind. And I think that that's going to be a big part of the show in the future, as I see it, because this 3D reality that we live in right now is definitely going to go away to a certain extent. And I just look forward to the advancement of the humankind worldwide, and looking forward to the spirituality side of this.
Yeah. I think that's you and I discussed this today. I think that's a lot of what's going on here, with the the health issue that I've had, the health issue that you've had, the what a lot of people are going through, and I think it has to do with preparing our bodies for something much greater. And so thank you, Susie Collins. Appreciate you. And Happy New Year. And I think that we're preparing for something big, folks. And anytime that you go through something as devastating as 2020 has been for so many, just remember that we go through these moments, these trials and tribulations, and it's our job to find the benefit in them, to find what is necessary for us to experience. And the more that we can think about what's necessary for us to experience, the more we can take away from this situation, like Todd and I have talked about tonight, and go into the next stage of our life with this incredible resolve and this incredible persistence and strength that we've basically tempered in the fires of 2020. Our swords are strong because of those fires, and they could not be strong without them. So with that, I'd like to just say,
I knew that was coming.
I knew it.
Knew it was coming.
Happy
And
New
that's a
Year.
wrap, folks.
Happy New Year, Snedheads. Just real quick, a quick prayer to just round out the year. Dear Lord, thank you for bringing us together this evening. Thank you for the lessons that this year has brought us. Thank you for the awakening, the great awakening, which has happened across the planet. Dear Lord, thank you for all the beautiful souls and the beautiful beings that are working diligently to make this a better planet. Thank you for President Trump. Please strengthen him and protect him and his family. Please protect the Q team and all the patriots and all the warriors, the Anons, the autists, the Snedheads. Please watch over the Snedheads that have had a difficult time, these beautiful human beings that have come here, made this a home, made this a community. Bless you all, and thank you, God, for them, and thank you for strengthening them and instilling with them your compassion, the compassion of Jesus Christ. Thank you, Jesus, for all the love and the joy that you've brought to our hearts. And we ask you to please watch over us in the coming year. Please watch over the election and the strategy, which seems to be working and seems to be well thought out and well planned. And we just ask you for peace through this turbulent time, and ask you to please help us to keep our eyes focused on the beauty in the world, in each other, and most importantly, the beauty within ourselves. In your name we pray, thy will be done. Amen.
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 Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year, Snedheads. Hey,
We'll see you. Yeah.
Hey, we remember, where we go one, we go all. See you next year.
Yes. See you next year, guys. Love you all.